But then when all these things, all these people helping me, all these people thinking of me, when all these things happen in such a short period, it all of a sudden feels very close. Self-sabotage. That's what this episode is going to be about. And I'm going to give you a very clear, very recent insight in my own journey. If you've listened to my Dutch podcast before, you know that I'm doing that because could well be that what I'm experiencing, you're facing too. So with that intention, I'll give you also insights in my own, in the difficult parts of my journey. Okay, welcome to a new episode of the podcast for female leaders. And let me tell you what happened recently. Maybe you don't know, but the reason why I'm doing this podcast in English, because I believe there is a lot more women than only the women in the Netherlands who could strengthen their position so no one can ignore them anymore. And I like to meet as many people as possible, as different as possible. So it opens my eyes, it opens my way, clears the way I see the world. And I just love working with people that are not, who are not kind of a copy of me, if you understand what I mean. So, well, in a sense, a copy of me, because you have well, you don't have to, but the women I work with, they all have the desire that no one can ignore them anymore. So there is some kind of a copy in there. But anyway, yeah, self-sabotage. I'm very good at that. I'm very good at that. And the difference between now and years ago is that I know sooner, not always in the moment, but sooner that I'm doing it. And just this week, I had one of these moments. So my dream is to work with women all over the world. And I'm taking action on that. And just in 1 week, so many things happened that it freaked me out. It freaked me out. I got, I'm in a mentorship with a network, Inspired Women Lead Worldwide Network, female network. And that's one. A friend of mine, she just had a lunch with a friend of hers working at a big corporate in the Dutch company, but worldwide active, who wants to meet. Next week, I will speak at Accenture, one of the world's biggest companies, about empowering women to strengthen their position. And yesterday, out of the blue, someone I know, every now and then I work with her, she asked, "Oh, I have a friend in US. If you're really interested in going abroad, please let me know and I connect you to." And this is not a coincidence. Of course, it's not a coincidence that all these things are happening. But when they are happening, then it comes very close to, oh, and the funny thing is, I know I'm going to be empowering women all over the world. There is I don't know when, but I do know. But then when all these things, all these people helping me, all these people thinking of me, when all these things happen in such a short period, it all of a sudden feels very close. And of course, hey, there is nothing for sure yet. I mean, I've been in sales for 13 years. Something is sure when it's actually happening. So I understand it's just a start. But things are happening. The things are happening, and they did not happen 6 months ago. And of course, they also did not happen a year ago or 2 years. They happen now because I've put my attention on it. I put my focus on it, and I've put my action on it. And then when they're happening, I've known for a long time, I'm not good enough was the sentence that kept going around in my mind. And Now it's more like it's the poem of Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear. Our deepest fear is not being good enough. Our deepest fear is to be the light. It's to be so good that that people cannot ignore you anymore. Of course, that's not exactly in her poem, but that's what it's about. And that is my thing. That is the thing. And I'm doing it. And if you ask me why do you have that? I have done such a deep dive in my life, in systems, in family system, in the way I behave compared to others, and why. And so I can explain. And yet, every now and then, it pops up. And of course, it pops up when things are falling in place. And that seems to happen right now. And it's funny, ironic, I would say ironic, that all these things are happening the way I did not see them happening, but of course I want them to happen. And then they do happen, and then I freak out. So it's so ironic. And I shared, I'm joining a training, a year program as well myself, to grow me and my company. And from a joyful way, my way. And I shared, and I got some mirrors. And then I realized, I know where it's from. I know where it's so. What if I just pick one thing at a time? Even though in 1 week 4 things happened, whatever. All those 4 things, one thing at a time. And just go for it and have fun. Feel the joy. And by making that shift, I did not have to keep myself busy anymore with why do I do this? Why is it so ironic? Why this? Why that? No, it is what it is. I know where it comes from. And I decide I want something else, something different for. And that's my decision. And I'm doing it. So all the people that pop up on my path, I send them an email, a message, or whatever the situation is, from my most joyful energy. And that's just fun. That's just fun. And if I make sure I have fun during my journey, even though I can freak out or whatever, as soon as I find the joy in all those things happening, then it's all fine. It's all fine. So, to you, realize that often we don't do things. We don't. We stop ourselves from the things that we actually know deep down that those are the things we need to do. And if you recognize yourself, of course, not in the exact same story, but a bit in your behavior and what you do when a lot of things happen, for you on your path that you want to take, realize that, you can freak out, you can feel suffocated, you can be like, holy shit, what is happening right now? Or you can just take one thing at a time and look for the joy. Look for your joy. Have fun. Have fun. And things become lighter. And if things become lighter, the joy, you feel more joy instead of the kind of ironic fear. And that is, I think that's what brings you most. But whatever ambition you have or drive you have or whatever you want to accomplish in your life, in your job, in your company, if it comes from joy, then it's truly long term. And when it comes from joy, you know that at the end of a journey, you look back and You look at yourself in the mirror. You see yourself in the mirror, and you look at yourself. And you say, yes, this is the way you should have. This is the way you couldn't have done better. And that doesn't mean that you should not fail, but this is not about failing. It's about sabotaging yourself to actually make the next move, make the next big step. That is what this is about. And when you've done that, when you do that every single time, yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It brings you success, gives you energy, and you're an inspiration to the world. Thank you for listening. Bye.